trying to find the reasons you won't.
Hi beautifuls, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. So today I am doing some Studio Ghibli spring nails. So the Studio Ghibli movie that I chose to do was Howl's Moving Castle, because if you have seen Howl's Moving Castle, you know there's a ton of different scenes with like flower fields, and it just very much feels like spring. So that's what I decided to do. I chose a continuous painting nail set. So what that means is it's one whole picture that has been stretched across all 5 nails. I did that because I wanted to show as much detail as possible rather than making like a coherent set inspired by Studio Ghibli. I just wanted to paint like a Studio Ghibli scene. In the future, if I decide to do, well, I am gonna do more, I might toggle between a nail set inspired by or scenes of Studio Ghibli, just depending on how I feel. I do want to say that in this nail set, there is a hint for the next Studio Ghibli movie that I'm going to be doing a nail design on. And I will have to say it is my favorite Studio Ghibli movie of all times. It is not a recognizable one. It is not a very popular one, but it is my favorite. So if you can guess it, um, kudos to you. Yeah. So I decided to do the press-on method for this design, just so I have a little bit more control in how and where I'm painting on the nail. So for the press-on method with these full cover tips are quite sculpted and my nail beds are very flat. So what I did was I put down my Dami peel-off base over my entire nail, and then I'm going to go in doing the regular Gel X method, putting a builder gel on the tip and then applying it on my nail in a 45-degree angle. After that is fully cured, I flash cure and then I pop it into my lamp for a full cure. I'm then gonna wiggle the tips off. So pretty much what this does is it fills in that gap between the actual tip and my nail, because the tip is so sculpted it doesn't quite fit my flat nail beds. That's the perfect thing to do when you're trying to make custom press-ons, and this is truly is custom press-ons because it's gonna fit my nail bed, it's gonna fit the curvature of my nail bed, all that lovely stuff. And that's one thing that I like to do when making press-ons for myself. So after that, I put them on my nail tip, and then I'm gonna start like preparing it. So I use the original oil painting gels. I showed me unboxing these gels in my last studio vlog. And then of course my Temu canvas gels, which I showed in my latest Temu nail haul. Absolutely love these things. I find myself reaching for them more often than I reach for like my other painting gels and stuff, because they are fun. I love the texture and I like how it resembles oil painting. So after that, I buffed the nails. Then I am going in with my Young Nails primer. I've realized that I no longer like to use my Young Nails primer as a primer on myself as much as I like to do it on just the tips. So oftentimes you'll find me etching the nail with my Young Nails primer, as well as putting it as a base for my press-on tips. I rarely put them on my actual nail bed. Nowadays, I'm just using it to prep a nail tip. And then after I put the Young Nails primer on, I went in with the Yogurt Gel Syrup 5, which is like a milky white. And I put that down as a unified base, just so when I apply colors on top, they're all gonna apply the same, they're all gonna look the same, because they have that unified base. And I think I only did one coat over all the nails. I did not go in with more than one. So now I'm just building my painting palette. And yeah, I just chose all the colors that I saw. And then, of course, if I need to mix colors, I have another um, translucent sticky note on the side to be able to mix colors. So now I'm just going in and painting the flower field. Now I do want to say over on the right, I had did the thumb, but unbeknownst to me, I had top coated it with matte top coat, and I realized, yes, it's nice. I just like the fact that it had more texture. So in the end, I'm gonna redo the thumb to fix that, but I just went ahead and carried on to me doing all the rest of the nails. So with a continuous nail set design, it's important that things match up. So multiple times in the video, you will see me grab the other tip and place them side by side to ensure that they are one continuous picture. So like what I'm doing right here, um, just making sure that it fits where one ends off, the next one is going to start, so to say. And that is just a perfect way to ensure that your nails are quite cohesive. Always double check back to your reference photo and then your nails to make sure, like, okay, yeah, it's going to angle up in this way. These are going to connect this way. The cloud is going to spread out that way. They're going to be sitting here and here. It's just the best way to make sure that you are getting the picture across on the nail. And I feel like the difficult part about nails is, at least painting on nails, is proportions and making sure that what you see translate just as well on the nail. So just always take your time, look at your reference. And the beautiful thing about nails, if you mess up, just wipe it off, start over. So I'm gonna go ahead and peace out. When something changes, I'll go ahead and pop back in. Or if I need to address something, or I feel like I need to address something, I will pop back in. Okay, this is.
Trying to find the reasons you won't find her pretty. 'Cause I am insecure. My looks been needing more. And I try to find the reasons that you would stay with me. 'Cause I am insecure. I'm not an intellectual.
So I do want to mention that there's a couple of things that I was going in with. So I mainly used like my short flat square brush. I used my 6mm liner brush for more smaller details, and then I have this, I don't know how to call it, it's like a occupant brush, I don't know, but it's pretty much like a point, it's like a thick brush but it's like pointed towards the tip, and I use that a lot in this. Yeah, those are the main three brushes that I used, and I found that they work. The 6mm to add down tiny detail and yeah, to add more detailed work. The square to like disperse things, flatten it out, apply a ton of color and stuff, and then I use the occupant brush the same way I use the flat square. So I had so much fun painting the clouds on this nail set. It's just something so like cerebral about painting clouds because just like the tiniest detail, adding a bit more color in one area while making other things a little bit more like translucent in other areas really makes it look like the clouds are blending into one another. There's clouds on top of one another. So tiny detail means a lot, and it was a lot of fun painting this. I can't wait to design my next Studio Ghibli set. Yeah, and I think I want to work a lot harder on learning how to paint and draw anime characters. I wanted to add more detailed pictures of Howl and Sophie in this nail set. However, I struggled. It took me like a whole day, and in the end I just hated how it was coming out, so I ex-nayed it altogether because it's really hard for me to draw faces, which is surprising. Like, I can draw characters. Like, of course, I have a video of me drawing strawberry shortcake. I have a short of me drawing Mickey Mouse. Like, it's not hard for me to draw characters, but when it comes to like faces, even anime faces, I think my brain psychs me out so bad to the point where I just end up sucking at it. But it's something that I do want to practice and get better at, so time makes perfect, and I definitely am going to give it another go because it's something that I want to do. I love watching animes. More importantly, I love watching Studio Ghibli movies, so yeah, I want to be able to expand my artist, I don't know, techniques. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and peace out again, and when something changes, I'll pop back in. I'll catch you guys in a bit. Okay, so I'm back a lot quicker than what I expected. So this is me redoing the thumb. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, yeah, I end up redoing it, and this is just the footage of that. Okay, that's all I had to say. All right, bye.
Trying to find the reasons you won't find her pretty. 'Cause I am insecure. My looks been needing more. And I try to find the reasons.
So the next thing that I'm getting into is making the little flowers in the field. So because how it starts, it goes from the thumb to the pinky showing the most detailed in the flowers and the thumb showing the least detailed. So with anything, it has to do with perspective. So you want to make sure when you're far away, you're doing little dots because it's not quite visible to the eyes. But once you get a little bit closer, you're going to see more of larger flowers, more detailed flowers, so on and so forth. So you'll notice that even in like the pinky, even in like the ring finger and the pinky, up towards the top where the grass meets the skyline, I'm still doing little tiny dots. But when I start to get to the corner, the bottom corner of the tip, that's where I'm going to start to add more detailed or larger flowers, because that is going to be the closest point to the viewer's eye. Yeah, so perspective. That's the best way I can put it. Yeah, and everything that I've learned when it comes to painting on nails and just painting in general, I've learned from myself. YouTube University is my best friend. I've been telling my husband I want to go to art school. I was like, oh, I want to go to art school. He goes, girl, if you don't continue to learn on YouTube University. So yeah, if you have any videos that you want to recommend for me about like drawing faces, or say like you two are an artist and you're like learning how to draw faces, is there any videos that you want to recommend to me on YouTube University? I would be more than appreciated, because I suck at drawing faces, but it's something that I want to learn how to do and execute well so I can do more crazy art. So yeah, that's my two-piece. The next thing that I'm getting into is finally drawing Howl and Sophie. They too are in the far back of the perspective. They sit more closer to the grass, the highest peak of the grass, close to the skyline. So they too are not going to have too much detail. You're really only going to see figures of them. So that's why they look bad. And that's why I was able to do them. Because they're not detailed. At this point, they're just shapes that look like a person's. And because of that, I was able to do them. So, enjoy. So I just finished up with adding more details and stuff like his hair and Sophie's hair. Even though her hair is gray, you can't really see it. It's going to blend pretty much into the background of the clouds, but either way, I still tried to add them in there. And yeah, I popped that into cure in the full lamp, and that is everything all done. Like when you look at it as a whole picture, it looks quite nice. So now we are moving on to adding some embellishment. So if you've seen Howl's Moving Castle, you know that like he has so many beautiful things surrounded around him, like golds, jewels, and all this stuff. So I really wanted to add some embellishments like that onto the nail. I didn't want to go too crazy to distract from the actual art piece itself, but I wanted kind of to create like a frame for the picture. So one of the things that I'm making right here are poppies. Yeah. And the poppies are the nod to the next Studio Ghibli nail set design that I want to do. So if you can take the hint poppies and figure out what Studio Ghibli movie that I want to do, kudos to you. And if you have seen that movie and you love it just as much as I do, we are now the bestest of friends. So with poppies, at least from all the research that I've done, can be easily depicted as 2 layers. So you have the first layer of like 5 petals that are quite like flowy and ebby. I would say like they resemble the, like, you know, like when a rose is very blown out, those last bottom petals and how they ebb and weave. Yeah, I don't really know what I'm saying. Anyway, so I did two sets of 5 flowers, one being largest in the back and then the next 5 being the smallest in the front. And then in the center I added black dots because out of all the research that I've seen of people making clay poppies or drawing poppies, when they are face front, that's what they look like. And then to surround the poppies, I went in with some gold flatbacks as well as gold caviar beads. And yeah, that done it for me. I like red and gold look so good together. So I was quite happy with this overall design, and I love the way that the poppies framed the tops of the nails. So yeah, overall I was really excited with the nail set. Yes, I wanted to be able to take it a lot further and do a lot more. However, I was limited in that because my techniques are limited, but I do want to continue to learn and prosper in my journey of nails, especially character art and nail art on nails. So who knows, in the next 5 years I might even be able to draw Shaquille O'Neal on a nail. Okay. After that, I took my crazy top coat and thick, and I just went over the gold embellishments, not going over the entire nail or going over the poppy. I wanted that to stay matte as well. And yeah, that is the end of the video. I really hope you guys like this, and of course, like always, if you want to see more videos like this from me, go ahead and give me a like, a comment, and a subscribe. And yeah, please always create something, whether it's big, whether it's small. Just the art of creating really brings joy into your life, and you never know what you can accomplish through creating. So I love you all. Stay safe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.